Hey guys, welcome back to Kerbal Space Program with Nitro. Well, it's been a little while since I did a mission outside of the Jewel system here after the Jewel 5 challenge ended in horrible failure. I didn't upload that one actually, I've been saving it. But anyways, they all died. So I figured I might as well do a new mission out here today with kind of an experimental ship that I have here. Normally, I mount landers in a fairing or on top here somewhere, or do it Apollo style where this is going to be a lander. But I actually decided to mount the lander, if you can kind of see it down here on the bottom, and that's going to just detach, and I'm not going to worry about redocking into the ship because there's really no point. We have all the fuel that we need in these large fuel tanks and multiple engines on this thing. So I figured for this episode, I'm going to take us out to Dres. I haven't been to the planet Dres yet. Right here, just outside of Duna, so we won't need probably nearly as much fuel as I had planned, although it does have a really high inclination, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I haven't even done a test flight out there yet, so hopefully I've packed enough fuel and I have a good lander to get it done. We have Carson, Ensign, and Buzz Kerman ready to go here on our mission out to Dres. So I'm going to start my exit burn here out of the Kerbin system, and then I will resume the reporting once we have good intercept set up with a Dres. Alright, so I finally achieved orbit around Dres, and that was a 5-degree inclination burn, and it was kind of a pain in the butt to actually get an intercept with Dres because I guess it's really small. So the intercept node was popping in and out. I couldn't quite get an accurate reading, but finally got here. Stage 2 of the outer fuel tanks to get here, and now we're about ready to drop the pod and head down to the surface. So let's go ahead and get Buzz. We'll go ahead and get Buzz Kerman down to the surface of Dres. Not quite sure where the door is. It's on the bottom. Yep. Oops. There we go. Alright. Buzz is ready to go and detach. Alright. There we go. Alright, so that ring has separated nicely. Okay. Alright, looks like it's functioning properly. Alright. We're off and away. I tried to get as much of a equatorial orbit as possible, even though I came into Dres heading kind of in a polar orbit, so I had to do a large inclination change, but luckily it wasn't too bad. And try aiming for what looks like a flat zone over here. We'll see what it winds up looking like when we get closer. Not really sure on the orbital period of Dres, but we'll find that out as we go. Alright, so this is a little lander that I had hooked up beneath our ship there. And I didn't put a docking port on it because I didn't really want to worry about transferring fuel. I'll just use all the fuel that I got and then probably just leave this thing in orbit when we're ready to go. So let's go ahead and speed up time here. And I'm going to come in a little off target. It doesn't look too bad. Hopefully this isn't a horrible spot. Of course, landing in that crater over there probably would have been nice, but that's okay. So let's see. It does look a little hilly. I don't have RCS on this thing either, so won't be able to do it the easy way like you do on the moon. Yeah. Alright. Go ahead and deploy landing gear now, just in case. And we got plenty of electric charge. Plenty of fuel for this too, so I'm not worried about my fuel consumption anymore. I do have this emergency engine as well here on the bottom for when all 4 of these run out of fuel, so looks like I planned this pretty well. Really overdid it on the lander, honestly. I could have gotten by with 2 of these, but we slowed down from that 300 meters per second vertical speed pretty quick, so that's always nice. I can just slow down periodically here as we get a little closer. Yeah, this is a very sort of mountainous area. It looks like we're coming in on top of a hill though. See how this looks. I might wind up flying over a little bit. Maybe over the hill, not sure. Doesn't exactly look like ideal terrain. Maybe I can land on this peak over here. I got plenty of fuel, so I can pick pretty much whatever landing spot I choose. Let's see if I can land over here a little bit. Okay. Looks like I need to aim that way. This is a pain in the butt part of it because I don't have a RCS at all on this craft, but that's okay. Or lights for that matter. And there we go. So that worked out pretty good. This is relatively flat. And Buzz here is the first Kerbal to set foot on the surface of Dres. And boop. So feels a lot like Moon around Kerbin. Nice low gravity, can jump pretty high. I guess this would be a nice little spot to take a rover around. So I'm gonna have to do that later, come back with a little rover. Whee! Alright, let's go ahead and plant the flag. Yeah, so this was kind of a awkward area to land. I do like landing in craters mainly, but this is the best I could do on short notice for landings, but that's okay. So yeah, I'll probably come back to Dres a little bit later with a rover and rove around this area some, so let's get a better idea of where I landed here. This is really rocky terrain in these areas. I wanted to land in this what looks like a flat area on the sides of it. That crater that I saw coming in is right over here, so that looks like a really nice spot to land actually. If I was to do this over again, that's where I would land. Dres doesn't really have many craters. It's not like the moon. So that would have been an interesting spot to go to. Not too far away from where we are here, but I don't know, I'll just go ahead and use the fuel to get back up to our ship, and then we can return to Kerbin. Let's see here. Got our guy over there, so he's that way. You know, with all the fuel I got, I probably could have gone over to that crater if I really wanted to, but I just want to get back up into orbit. There we go. And below 10,000 meters, so it might be a little while. There we go. Alright, 1.3, I'll take that. Only 16 meter per second burn. And we do still have a lot of fuel left in this little thing. Kinda hard to fine tune it. I think that's about as good as it'll be. pack the legs in there. And let's see what we got. 1.8. You can probably fine tune that a little bit more right here. We get exactly perfect inclination. Looks like that's being a little hard to do too. 1.4. Here we go. So that's about as good as it'll get. 1.5. That's close enough. Because of the low gravity of Dres here, you're going to have a really low orbital speed, so it's not too bad. Alright, so there's our target. That should put us right on course with it and get us nice and close. There she is. Our key ship coming in a little fast. Alright. I think that'll about do it. Let's go ahead and get Buzz out of here. It's a lot of fuel that we're wasting on this ship, I guess, by not putting a docking port in there to refuel our central ship, but that's okay. It did its job, and it was a little over-engineered. But this is my first time to Dres, so I didn't want to take anything chance with that lander. Alright. So now we're in. Looks like we're good to go here. Go ahead and get us out of the path of this lander. It's still headed for us. Alright. There we go. Alright, so that's a landing on Dres, and now I'm just going to pause it and resume once we are back at Kerbin and ready for atmospheric reentry. Alright, so here I am back at Kerbin, and as you can see I did circularize and get us into a perfect inclination. I burned off the rest of all the stages that I have now, and now I just have what's left here in this landing engine. All this RCS fuel is depleted, And we should be good to go for landing. I'm going to try to put us down at the KSC, but that rarely ever works out, so we'll see how lucky I am here. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Probably put us in the water. Yeah, we're going in the ocean. Oh well. That's fine. Kerbal Space Center is right there, and we're not even gonna come close to it, I don't think. Nah, definitely not. That's okay. So let's go ahead and get rid of our landing engine here with my stack separator. This was meant to land on land, but we'll see how well it does with water. Use the legs to break the fall. This is a multi-parachute deployment kit that I have on here, so you actually wind up deploying 2 sets of parachutes. It's kind of interesting. I use the same design for the parachutes on my Atlas V, and I figured I'd reuse them here. Alright, so now we point the ship down and deploy. Oops. He ripped off. I'll deploy a second set. That's what I get for doing it in fast time. Hopefully this doesn't rip off the ship. Oh, there we go. And hopefully that doesn't fall on top of us. Doesn't look like it will. Alright, so that's what I get for using physical time warp with parachutes deployed. But it looks like we're gonna be okay. Better not hit the water in physical time warp. And a soft touchdown. So there we go, we are finally back on Kerbin. And all of our guys are safe, provided that nothing lands on top of this pod, and they're gonna run out of battery life eventually. So there you go, a mission to Dres and back to Kerbin, landing in the water, not at the Kerbal Space Center. One of these days I'll land it, but not today. So I haven't been to Ike either, so it looks like my next mission will probably wind up being out at Ike over at my Duna Command Center, which is now new. So till then, see you guys later on the next episode. Take care.